Welcome to my channel, The World of Science Fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
The air trembles with heat and screams. Sierra kneels in the red dust, fingers digging into sand so hot it burns through the calluses on her palms. Her blue skin is striped with cuts, darkening to purple where the bruises bloom. The broken spear shaft trembles in her grip, not from fear, though fear is there, coiled tight in her chest, but from the effort of staying upright. Blood drips from her temple, drawing lines through the dust caked on her face. The crowd roars above. Thousands of them, tier upon tier, their voices merging into a single bestial sound that vibrates through the stone beneath her knees. They want death. They always want death. Vorn steps forward. He's massive, 7 feet of scar tissue and muscle, shoulders wide enough to block out the sun. His fist, when he raises it, looks like a boulder mounted on flesh. No weapon. He doesn't need one. The last 3 fighters he killed with his hands. Sierra tries to stand. Her left leg buckles. The crowd screams louder. Vorn's shadow falls over her. She sees his knuckles, split and scabbed from yesterday's execution, tensing for the strike. She raises the broken spear, 6 inches of splintered wood, utterly useless, and meets his eyes. He smiles. The fist drops. Motion. Sudden. Impossible. A figure vaults the barrier wall, a blur of worn leather in desperation, and catches Vorn's fist mid-swing. The impact makes a sound like a tree splitting. The crowd's roar chokes off into shocked silence. Sierra stares. The man holding Vorn's fist is human, shorter than the giant, lean and wiry, blood already streaming from his nose where the force of the catch has broken something inside. But he's grinning, actually grinning through blood-stained teeth. "My turn," he says. Vorn yanks his arm back. The human holds on, boots scraping furrows in the red sand as he's dragged forward. Then he lets go, rolls backward, comes up in a crouch between Sierra and the giant. The sand shakes beneath his boots as he plants his feet. "Who are you?" Sierra gasps. Her voice comes out raw, shredded from screaming. "Cale Ward." He doesn't look at her, eyes locked on Vorn. "Engineer, builder, idiot." Vorn's knuckles crack against Cale's palm as the giant tests his grip, squeezing. Cale doesn't move, doesn't flinch. Even as his hand turns white under the pressure, his smile widens, and there's something feral in it, something unhinged. The crowd finds its voice again, but it's different now, uncertain, confused. This wasn't in the script. "You shouldn't be here," Sierra hisses. "I know." Vorn swings with his other fist. Cale ducks under it, the blow passing so close his hair whips back and slams his elbow into the giant's ribs. It's like hitting stone. Vorn doesn't even grunt, but he steps back. The guards are moving now, pouring down from the gates, shock sticks crackling blue in the heat. 6 of them. 8. More coming. Cale grabs Sierra's arm, hauling her upright with a strength that surprises her. "Can you run?" "I don't run." "Then limp fast." The first guard reaches them. Cale catches the shock stick mid-thrust, takes the full voltage, and uses the guard's momentum to throw him into Vorn's path. The giant stumbles. Just for a second. It's enough. Cale drags Sierra toward the side gate, the one the corpses are usually pulled through. She's hobbling, her legs screaming, but she keeps pace. Behind them, Vorn roars. An actual roar, wordless and huge. They're 10 feet from the gate when it slams shut. The warlord stands above them on the observation platform, resplendent in his blood-red armor, face hidden behind a carved mask. He raises one hand. The crowd falls silent. "Interference!" His voice booms across the arena, amplified by the stone acoustics Cale designed into the walls. "The penalty is death." Cale laughs. It's a broken sound, half mad. "Yeah? Get in line." The warlord's hand drops. The guards converge. Shock sticks light up the dust. Cale shoves Sierra behind him and meets the first 2 head-on, taking one stick in the ribs, grabbing the other, wrenching it free. He spins, crackling weapon in hand, and drops 3 guards before the voltage dies. But there are too many. A stick catches him across the shoulders. He goes down hard, face first in the red sand. Sierra tries to reach him, but her leg gives out again. She sprawls beside him, close enough to see his eyes, gray, sharp, burning with something that might be rage or might be relief. "Sorry," he mutters, blood bubbling on his lips. "Thought I could." Vorn's shadow falls over them both. The giant reaches down, one massive hand closing around Kale's throat, lifting him like he weighs nothing. Kale's feet kick uselessly 3 feet off the ground. His hands claw at Vorn's wrist, but the grip is iron. "Wait." The warlord's voice cuts through the arena. Vorn freezes, but doesn't let go. "The human. I know him." A murmur runs through the crowd. "Kale Ward." The warlord leans forward, and Sierra can hear the smile in his voice even through the mask. "The architect. The man who built my beautiful arena. Tell me, Kel, did you think jumping into the pit would undo what you created?" Kale's face is turning purple. He can't answer. "No?" The warlord straightens. "Then perhaps you need time to reflect on your choices. Vorn, put him in a cell, with the blue one. Let them share the night together before they share the sand tomorrow." The giant's grip loosens. Kale drops, gasping, clutching his throat. Guards surround them, shock sticks pressed to their backs, and drag them both toward the darkness beneath the stands. The crowd starts cheering again. The cell is a concrete box, 8 feet square. No windows. One rusted light fixture buzzing overhead, throwing sickly yellow illumination across walls that sweat condensation and worse. The door is solid metal, 3 inches thick, with a slot at the bottom for food that never comes often enough. They throw Kale in first. He stumbles, catches himself against the far wall, and immediately starts examining it, fingers running over the seams, testing the bolts. Sierra lands behind him, shoved hard enough that she hits the floor. Her leg screams. She bites down on the sound, refusing to give the guards the satisfaction. The door slams. The locks engage with a heavy thunk that echoes. Silence. Kale turns back against the wall and slides down until he's sitting. His breathing is ragged, and there's a hitch in it that suggests broken ribs. The bruise on his throat is already darkening to black. Sierra stays on the floor, propped against the opposite wall, staring at him. "You shouldn't have interfered," she says finally. Her voice comes out flat, exhausted. "Bad habit." He touches his side, winces. "Breaking ribs, I mean. Not the interference part. That's new." "Is it?" He glances at her. There's something in his eyes, not quite guilt, not quite defiance. Something caught between the two. "Do all your kind save enemies?" she asks. "I don't build walls anymore." The words hang in the air between them. Sierra feels something shift in her chest, a cold weight settling. "Build?" His silence is answer enough. She pushes herself upright, ignoring the agony in her leg, and crosses the cell in 3 lurching steps. "You!" She grabs his collar, hauling him halfway to his feet. "You built this place?" He doesn't fight her, just meets her eyes. "Every bolt, every chain, every scream." She hits him, open palm across the face, hard enough that his head snaps to the side. Then she stumbles back, breathing hard, and the anger drains out as quickly as it came, leaving only a hollow ache. "Then maybe you deserve it too," she whispers. Kale touches his cheek where a red mark is blooming. "Maybe." She turns away, facing the wall, pressing her forehead against the cold concrete. Behind her, she hears him shift, settling back against his wall. The light flickers. Water drips somewhere in the ceiling, a slow, steady rhythm like a failing heartbeat. "How many?" Her voice is barely audible. "What?" "How many died here? In your perfect arena?" The pause stretches so long she thinks he won't answer. "I stopped counting at 300. She laughs. It's a horrible sound, broken and sharp. "Stopped counting? That's merciful." "No." His voice is quiet. "It was cowardice." The light flickers again. In the darkness between pulses, she can almost pretend she's somewhere else. Almost. "My people have a saying," she says to the wall. "Teresh Kor Ven Ashir." It means, the stone remembers the blood. Does it? I don't know. I used to think so. She turns, sliding down to sit facing him across the narrow space. Their knees almost touch. Now I think maybe stone is just stone. Stupid. Dead. It doesn't remember anything. But people do. Yes. She studies his face, the bruises forming, the blood dried in streaks, the eyes that won't look away even though she can see he wants to. Why help me now? In the arena? He's quiet for a long moment, head tilted back against the wall, staring at the buzzing light fixture. When he speaks, his voice is so soft she has to lean forward to hear it, because I'm tired of fixing what I broke. Rain starts then, sudden and heavy, hammering on the structure above them. Water finds the cracks in the ceiling, dripping down in streams that pool in the corners. The temperature drops. Sierra wraps her arms around herself, shivering. Kale shifts, wincing at the movement, and shrugs off his jacket. Thin, battered leather, more holes than material. He holds it out. She stares at it. I don't need... Take it. She takes it. It smells like dust and sweat and something else. Machinery, maybe. Oil. She pulls it around her shoulders. Where I'm from, she says after a while, to breathe means to defy. He looks at her, really looks, and something in his expression softens. Then keep breathing. I'll take the hits. Their eyes meet. In the sickly yellow light, his look gray and tired and human, in a way that makes her chest ache. She sees exhaustion there, and defiance, and something fragile forming. Not trust, not yet, but the possibility of it. How did you end up here, she asks. Building death traps for warlords? Same way everyone does, one bad choice at a time. He shifts, trying to find a position that doesn't aggravate his ribs. I was good at building, really good. The warlord needed someone who understood structural engineering, offered me a fortune, safety, food. I told myself it was just construction, just putting stones together. What they did with it afterward, that wasn't my problem. But it was. Yeah. He closes his eyes. It was. The rain intensifies, pounding on the roof like fists. I had a sister, Sierra says suddenly. The words come out before she can stop them, raw and unexpected. Kira, younger than me, faster. She could run. God, she could run. The guards couldn't catch her. No one could. She stops. Kale waits. Until they did. Her voice goes flat. In the arena, your arena, 3 months ago, she lasted almost 10 minutes against Vorn. I was in the stands, chained. They made me watch. Kale's eyes open. He looks at her, and she sees the knowledge hit him, the weight of it settling across his shoulders like a physical thing. The blue girl, he whispers. The runner. I remember. He stops, jaw working. I was there, inspecting the drainage system. I heard the crowd. I saw her head, Sierra finishes, on a spike, for 3 days. The silence between them is enormous. I'm sorry, Kale says finally. The words are inadequate, pathetic. He knows it. I'm so sorry. Sorry. She tastes the word. What does that mean? Does it bring her back? Does it undo the stones you laid? The chains you forged? No. Then what good is it? He has no answer for that. The hours grind past. The rain slows, then stops. At some point, hours later maybe, it's impossible to tell, Sierra notices him moving. His hand is tracing patterns in the mud on the floor. Lines, angles. She watches, curious despite herself. What are you doing? Mapping. She shifts closer, peering at the crude drawing. It's a schematic. The arena, the tunnels beneath, the support structure. He's marking points, nodes, weak spots in the architecture. Escape routes? She asks. Maybe. His finger traces a path from their cell to a ventilation shaft 3 levels up. If we could get through that door, and past the guards, and up 2 levels without being seen, and through a grate that's probably welded shut by now. So no. So probably no. He sits back, wiping mud from his hands. But maybe isn't nothing. She studies the map, committing it to memory out of habit, even though she knows they'll never use it. Her eyes catch on something, a symbol he's drawn at the center of the arena floor. What's that? He follows her gaze. The main support column. Everything. All the weight, all the structure. It rests on that. I designed it that way. 1 point of failure. Why? Because the warlord wanted dramatic, wanted the whole thing to feel like it was floating, like it defied gravity. He laughs bitter. I gave him what he wanted. And if that column broke, The whole arena comes down. Everyone in it dies. Fighters, guards, audience, everyone. He looks at her. I've thought about it. Every day since I finished building. How easy it would be. One good explosion. One structural failure. All of it gone. But you didn't do it. No. Why not? He's quiet for a long time. Because I told myself I wasn't a killer. I just built things. The blood was on their hands, not mine. He meets her eyes. I was wrong. Sierra feels something shift inside her. Not forgiveness, but something adjacent to understanding. She wants to hate him. Part of her does. But another part sees the tally marks he must have carved somewhere. The count he kept. The weight he carried. You're still a coward, she says. I know. But maybe, she stops, searching for words. Maybe a coward who jumped into the arena is less of a coward than one who stayed outside. He almost smiles. That's generous. Don't mistake it for forgiveness. I wouldn't dare. The light flickers again, staying off longer this time. In the darkness, Sierra hears Kale's breathing, ragged and steady. She pulls his jacket tighter around her shoulders. Tomorrow, she says, they'll kill us both. Probably. And you jumped in anyway. Yeah. That's stupid. I know. But, she pauses. Thank you for trying. In the darkness, his voice comes soft. You're welcome. The light returns, buzzing. Sierra leans her head back against the wall, closing her eyes. Her leg aches. Her whole body aches. But there's a warmth in her chest that wasn't there before. Small, fragile, but real. She's not alone. That shouldn't matter. It changes nothing about tomorrow. But somehow, impossibly, it does. Morning comes with violence. Sierra jerks awake to the sound of the door slamming open. Guards flooding in, shock sticks already crackling. She's on her feet before she's fully conscious, putting her back to the wall, but there's nowhere to go. Across the cell, Kale is rising too, slower, one hand pressed to his ribs. Time to die, the lead guard says. He's grinning, showing teeth filed to points. Warlord wants a good show. You two better not disappoint. They drag Sierra out first. She fights, but it's useless. 4 guards, shock sticks pressing into her back, her neck, sending jolts of agony through her nervous system until her muscles give out. They haul her into the corridor, rough concrete scraping her knees. Kale comes next. He's not fighting, just walking, hands loose at his sides, eyes distant. But when he passes her, his fingers brush her shoulder, brief, barely there. The touch says, I'm here. They march them through tunnels Sierra has walked a dozen times. The drums start, deep, resonant, shaking dust from the ceiling. The sound of execution, the sound of entertainment. Ahead of them, Vorn walks alone. He doesn't need guards. No one escapes Vorn. His footsteps are heavy, deliberate, patient. He has all the time in the world. His opponents never do. Kale leans close to Sierra, voice barely audible under the drums. When the drums stop, go left. She turns her head slightly. What? There's an alcove, maintenance access, 10 feet from the gate. When the drums stop, that's your chance. I don't run anymore, she hisses. Then walk beside me. His eyes meet hers and there's something fierce in them now, no longer distant. But live, please. The drums thunder louder. Chains rattle on the walls. They're close now. She can hear the crowd already. That terrible, hungry sound. Her fingers brush his. The contact lasts half a second, but it's enough. An unspoken pact. Neither of us alone. The tunnel opens into blinding light. The crowd rises on all sides. Thousands of faces, none of them caring, all of them eager. The sun beats down, merciless. Red sand stretches toward distant walls. Vorn steps into the light first. The crowd roars his name. He raises both fists, and they roar louder. Sierra and Kale are shoved forward. The gate slams shut behind them with a finality that reverberates through the stone. 3 guards unlock their chains. The metal falls away, leaving red marks on Sierra's wrists. She flexes her hands, testing. Everything hurts, but everything works. Beside her, Kale is doing the same, rolling his shoulders, favoring his left side where the ribs are broken. The guards retreat. The gate seals. It's just the three of them now. Sierra, Kale, and Vorn. The giant turns. His eyes are flat, reptilian. He's not angry, not excited. This is just his job. He's good at it. I remember you, Vorn says to Kale. His voice is surprisingly soft, almost gentle. You built good cages. Thanks, Kale mutters. I'm very proud. Vorn's eyes shift to Sierra. You're the runner's sister. Something goes cold in her chest. Yes. She was fast. Made me work for it. He tilts his head. Are you fast? Let's find out. The crowd screams. The warlord rises in his box, arms spread wide. His voice booms across the arena, amplified, godlike. Citizens, today we witness justice. The architect of our glory, brought low by his own creation, the rebel who would not kneel, forced to face the consequence of defiance. Let the stone drink deep. The crowd takes up the chant. Stone, stone, stone. The warlord's hand drops. Vorn moves. He's fast. Impossibly fast for someone his size. 3 steps and he's on them, fist already swinging. Kale shoves Sierra aside and takes the hit on his shoulder instead of his head. The impact lifts him off his feet, sends him sprawling 10 feet across the sand. Sierra rolls, comes up, sees Vorn turning toward her. She runs, not away, but at him, low and fast, sliding under his reach. Her hand closes around a piece of shattered weapon in the sand. A blade maybe 6 inches long, broken and jagged. It's something. Vorn spins, faster than he should be able to. His backhand catches her across the chest, and suddenly she's airborne. The world tumbling, then slamming back into her body as she hits the sand hard enough to drive the air from her lungs. Can't breathe, can't move. Vorn's shadow falls over her. Then Kale is there, appearing from nowhere, a length of chain in his hands. He loops it around Vorn's neck and pulls. The giant staggers backward, hands reaching up to claw at the chain, and Kale plants his feet and pulls harder. Sierra! Kale's voice is strained. Move! She forces herself up, lungs burning, and staggers away. Vorn is trying to reach over his shoulder, trying to grab Kale, but the angle is wrong. Kale's feet are braced against the giant's back, using his whole body weight as leverage. But it's not enough. Vorn drops to one knee, then grabs the chain with both hands and pulls. Kale comes flying over the giant's shoulder, lands hard in the sand. Vorn rises, chain still in his hands, and starts pulling Kale toward him, hand over hand, inexorable. Sierra runs at Vorn's back, the broken blade raised. She drives it into his shoulder blade with everything she has. It goes in maybe 2 inches before snapping. Vorn doesn't even grunt. He releases the chain, turns, and grabs her by the throat. This is it, she thinks. This is how Kira died. Vorn's grip tightens. Black spots bloom in Sierra's vision. She claws at his wrist, useless, her legs kicking empty air. Sorry, Vorn says softly. Nothing personal. Then Kale hits him. Not with a weapon, just his body, full force, driving his shoulder into Vorn's kidney. The giant's grip loosens for just a second, and Sierra drops, gasping. Kale and Vorn trade blows. Fast, brutal, neither of them defending, both just trying to do more damage than they take. Blood flies. Bones crack. The crowd is screaming so loud it's just white noise. They're losing. Sierra can see it. Kale is good, but Vorn is better. Stronger, more experienced. Every hit Kale lands, Vorn shrugs off. Every hit Vorn lands, Kale staggers. She looks around desperately. Her eyes catch on the arena floor, the patterns in the stone, the layout Kale drew in the mud last night, the support columns. She can see them now, massive pillars rising from the floor to hold the structure above. They look solid, but she remembers Kale's words. 1 point of failure. Kale! She doesn't know if he can hear her over the crowd. The columns! He glances at her, confused. Blood streams from his nose, his mouth. Break them, she screams. Bring it down! Understanding flashes across his face. Then horror. Everyone dies! So what? She's limping toward him now, toward the center of the arena. They're already trying to kill us. The crowd. Fuck the crowd! She reaches him, grabbing his arm. Vorn is circling, patient, waiting for them to finish talking so he can kill them. They watched my sister die. They're watching us die. You think they deserve mercy? Kale stares at her. She can see the calculation happening behind his eyes, the math of lives, the weight of guilt, the impossible choice. I can't, he whispers. Then give me the chain. Sira, you built this place. You know where it's weak. Tell me how to break it or die a coward. Vorn charges. Kale moves, not toward the giant, but toward the central column. He grabs Sira's hand and runs, dragging her with him. Vorn follows, massive footsteps shaking the ground. They reach the column, 20 feet wide carved stone, covered in decorative reliefs of past victories. Kale's hands move across it, searching. Here. He finds a seam, a place where two sections meet. This is the joint. The weight above creates shear stress. If we can... He looks around, spots the chain he dropped earlier. If we can wedge something in... Vorn is 10 feet away. 5. Kale grabs the chain, shoves one end into the seam, and starts hammering it deeper with a rock. The chain bites, catches. He pulls, muscles straining. Nothing happens. It's not enough, he gasps. Need more force. Need... Then don't do it for them, Sira says. She's behind him now, adding her weight to the chain. Their hands overlap on the metal, and she can feel him shaking. Do it for what you built. Unmake it. Vorn reaches them. Kale looks up at the giant, then at Sira, then at the column. Forgive me, he whispers. He drives the chain deeper into the seam with everything he has left. Something shifts. A grinding sound, deep and wrong. The column shudders. Vorn's hand closes around Kale's shoulder, yanking him backward. But Kale doesn't let go of the chain. He twists using Vorn's own strength and pulls. A crack, sharp as lightning, loud as thunder. The column splits. For a moment, nothing happens. The crowd's roar continues, oblivious. Vorn's grip tightens on Kale's shoulder, lifting him. Then the arena groans. It's a sound Sira has never heard before. Stone screaming, the voice of a structure dying. The column buckles. Cracks race up its length, spider webbing toward the roof. Dust rains down, then chunks of concrete. The crowd's roar changes pitch. No longer excitement, but fear. Vorn looks up. His expression doesn't change, but his grip loosens. Kale drops, landing hard, and grabs Sira's hand. Run, he says. They run. Behind them, the column collapses. The sound is enormous, apocalyptic. The ground heaves. More columns crack, sympathetic failures racing across the structure as the weight redistributes. The crowd is screaming now, stampeding toward the exits, crushing each other in their panic. Sira and Kale sprint toward the edge of the arena, toward anything that might offer shelter. Massive blocks of stone crash down around them, throwing up clouds of dust and debris. The air becomes unbreathable. Something hits Kale, a piece of falling roof, glancing blow off his shoulder. He staggers but keeps moving. Sira's leg gives out, and she goes down. Kale drags her up, half carrying her now, both of them lurching through the chaos. The wall is close. 20 feet. 10. The roof above them collapses. Sira sees it happening in fragments. Stone falling. Kale shoving her forward, his body covering hers. And in that moment, in the roar and thunder and death, a voice, soft, clear, impossible. Keep breathing. It cuts through the chaos like a knife, not loud but present. His voice, Kale's voice, but not from his mouth, from somewhere else, from everywhere. An echo that hasn't happened yet. Then the weight of the world presses down. Darkness. She wakes to silence, not quiet. Silence. The complete absence of sound, so profound it rings in her ears. Sira coughs and the sound is muffled, distant. Dust fills her lungs. She can't see, can't move. Something heavy pins her legs. She tries to shift and agony screams through her body. Her left arm won't respond. Broken maybe, or trapped. She can't tell. Keep breathing. The words echo in her head. Memory or hallucination, she can't tell. Kale? Her voice comes out as a croak, barely audible even to herself. No answer. She tries again, louder. Kale! Nothing. Panic rises, hot and choking. She forces it down, focuses on breathing, on thinking. She's alive. That's something. She's buried, but not completely. There's air, thin and dust-filled, but air. She can move her right arm, her head, her legs are trapped, but she can feel them, which means they're not crushed beyond recovery. Slowly, carefully, she begins to dig. Her fingers scrabble at rubble, chunks of concrete, fragments of stone, twisted metal. She pulls them away piece by piece, making a space, creating room to move. It takes forever. Her hand is bleeding, nails torn, but she doesn't stop. Finally, she creates enough space to pull herself forward, dragging her body through the narrow gap. Her legs scream in protest, but they move. She's free. She emerges into dim light, not daylight, but the gray illumination of dust and smoke filtering through the wreckage. The arena is gone. In its place, a field of ruins, stone and bodies in silence. She stands, barely, using a piece of rebar for support, and looks around. "Kale!" Her voice echoes flatly in the destruction. "Kale, where are you?" No answer. She starts searching, limping through the rubble, calling his name. Bodies everywhere, guards, prisoners, spectators, all of them still, dust-covered, unmoving. Some buried, some exposed. None of them Kale. Time loses meaning. The sun moves across the sky above, weak through the dust clouds. She finds pieces of him, his jacket, torn and bloody, a boot, the chain he used, still gripping a chunk of the column it destroyed. But no Kale. "Please," she whispers. "Please don't be." She stops. Ahead, a section of wall still stands, leaning at a dangerous angle. And on it, she sees something. Fresh carving, the edges still sharp. She limps closer. KW. Her heart stops. Below the initials, hundreds of tally marks, more than she can count. A careful accounting of every death this place witnessed. And below the marks, carved deeper than the rest, letters that seem to pulse in the dim light. Sorry, the word burns itself into her vision. She hears it, not with her ears, but with something deeper. A rhythm, a heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. The sound grows, fills her chest, becomes her own heartbeat syncing with the word carved in stone. Sorry, thump, thump. Sorry, thump, thump. Sierra's hand shakes as she reaches out. Her fingers trace the letters, feeling where his hands pressed, where he carved his confession into permanence. "I know," she whispers, and the heartbeat sound fades slowly, reluctantly. "I know you were." She keeps searching. Hours grind past. She finds Vorn finally, crushed beneath a massive section of roof, one hand still raised as if to catch it. His face is peaceful, but no Kale. As the sun starts to set, painting the ruins in shades of red and gold, Sierra admits what she's been trying not to believe. He's gone, buried somewhere in this mass grave, unrecoverable, dead. She finds a piece of fallen column and sits. Her leg throbs. Everything throbs. But she's alive. Kale Ward died so she could be alive. The thought sits in her chest, heavy and strange. She doesn't know what to do with it. As the light fades, she sees something glinting in the rubble nearby. She limps over and finds a piece of his armor, the chest plate, scorched and dented, and beneath it, pressed into the stone where he must have fallen, a handprint. His handprint, scorched into the rock, perfect and clear, fingers spread wide. Sierra kneels beside it, her throat tight. She reaches out, hesitates, then presses her palm against his. The rock is warm, not sun-warm, not residual heat from the collapse. Something else, something deeper, impossible to name. As if something inside still breathes. Her heart stops for a moment. She presses harder, feeling for it. That pulse, that rhythm. And there it is, faint, steady, a vibration so subtle it might be her imagination. But it's there. It feels like breath, like the stone is breathing, like he's breathing. The stone remembers, she whispers. Tarishkor Venashir. The stone remembers the blood. She stays there, hand pressed to stone, until darkness falls completely. Days blur together. Sierra doesn't leave, can't leave. The ruins become her home, her territory. She finds water in broken pipes, food from the storage levels beneath, most of it crushed, but some survived. She makes shelter in what was once a guard post, 3 walls still standing, and she keeps searching, not for Kale, she knows he's gone, but for the others, survivors. There must be others. She finds them slowly, a guard half mad, pinned under debris for 3 days before she hears his screaming. She digs toward the sound, pulling away stone piece by piece. When she finally reaches him, he stares at her with wild eyes. "Blue bitch," he spits, then starts laughing. "You did this, you and that human." She could leave him, should leave him. This man probably helped kill her sister, probably cheered while Kira died. But she keeps digging. It takes 2 hours to free his legs. When he's out, he tries to attack her, swinging with his good arm, teeth bared. She dodges easily and he collapses, too weak to follow through. She breaks his attacking arm, clean snap at the elbow. He screams. Then she sets it, binds it with strips of cloth torn from her shirt, leaves him water and a piece of dried food. "Why?" he gasps when she turns to go. She doesn't answer, doesn't know the answer herself. But as she walks away, she thinks, because Kale jumped into the pit, because someone has to be different. The next day, she finds a prisoner, young, maybe 16, blue skin like her, thin as a skeleton. He's crouched in a corner of collapsed tunnel, gnawing on something. When Sierra gets closer, she sees what it is, a human arm, gray skin, already decomposing. The boy looks up at her, eyes hollow, and keeps eating. Sierra's stomach turns, but she doesn't run, doesn't judge. She's been here too long to judge. "There's real food," she says quietly, "in the storage level. I'll show you." He follows her like a ghost, an old woman from the crowd, leg crushed beyond saving. Sierra sits with her through the night while she dies. The woman keeps asking for her daughter. "She's coming," Sierra lies. "She'll be here soon. Tell her," the woman's breath rattles. "Tell her I loved her. Tell her I will." The woman dies holding Sierra's hand. Sierra doesn't know her name, doesn't know her daughter's name, but she stays until dawn, until the body is cold, before she closes the woman's eyes and moves on. One by one she finds them, the broken pieces of what was. Most leave as soon as they can walk. Some stay, too injured or too traumatized to face the world beyond the ruins. She helps them when she can, leaves them alone when she can't. Weeks pass, the dust settles, the bodies start to smell, rot and sun and flies. Sierra and the few survivors who remain gather them, pile them in one section of the ruins, cover them with stone. It's not enough. Nothing is enough. But it's something. She avoids the center of the arena, the place where the column fell, the place where Kale. She can't. But one morning she wakes and knows she has to go back. The walk across the ruins is longer now, harder. Her leg healed wrong, leaves her with a permanent limp. But she makes it. The central column, what's left of it, lies in massive pieces across the arena floor. The handprint is still there, untouched by time or weather, perfect and clear. Sierra kneels beside it again. Her hand fits against his, smaller, different, but close enough. "I'm still breathing," she says to the stone, "like you told me to." The wind moves through the ruins, carrying dust and memory. People are starting to come, scavengers, merchants. They want to rebuild. They're asking me. She stops, laughs bitterly. "They're asking me what to do, like I have answers." The stone is silent. "I don't forgive you," she continues. "I don't think I can. You built this. You made the place that killed Kira, that almost killed me." She pauses. "But you also stopped building. You also tried to fix it. That has to mean something." She traces the edge of the handprint with her finger. "I wish you'd lived. I wish you'd had to face what you made, had to help clean up the mess, had to answer for it." Her voice breaks. "I wish you'd stayed." But he didn't, and wishes change nothing. She stays until the sun is high, then rises, joins protesting. She takes one last look at the handprint, committing it to memory one more time, then turns to leave. She stops. Someone is watching her. A young soldier, barely more than a boy, stands at the edge of the ruins, staring. His uniform is clean, pressed, not local, from one of the neighboring territories maybe. Come to see the fallen arena, the collapsed monument to the warlord's glory. He approaches slowly, respectful. Excuse me, are you? He hesitates. Were you here when it fell? Sira considers lying, decides against it. Yes. I heard. The boy glances around at the destruction. I heard the architect did this, destroyed his own creation. Is that true? Yes. Why? Sira looks back at the handprint, glowing faintly in the sunlight. Because he was tired of fixing what he broke. The boy nods slowly, processing. What happened here? His voice is quiet, awed. What really happened? And Sira realizes, this is the first time someone has asked. Really asked. Not demanding answers, not accusing, just wanting to know. She could tell him many things. Could describe the violence, the collapse, the days of digging through corpses. Could explain about Cale Ward, the architect who became a saboteur, the builder who destroyed his masterwork. But when she speaks, what comes out is simpler. The walls fell, she says, and for once they listened. The boy frowns, not understanding. That's okay. She barely understands it herself. He leaves after a while, walking back toward whatever life brought him here. Sira watches him go, then returns to her work. There's still survivors to find, still a world to figure out how to live in. But first, she goes back to the guard post where she's been sleeping. In the corner, using a piece of sharpened rebar, she starts to carve. The wall is rough stone, hard to work with, but she's patient. She carves his name first, Cale Ward. Then below it, in smaller letters, Builder, Breaker. Below his name, she carves her sisters, Kira. And below that, methodically, every other name she can remember. Every prisoner who died here. It takes hours. Her hands cramp, bleed, but she keeps going. When she runs out of names she knows, she carves tally marks. Hundreds of them. Thousands, maybe. One for every life this place took. It takes 3 days. When she's finished, the wall is covered. Floor to ceiling, edge to edge. A memorial carved in stone. She stands back examining her work. It's not enough. Nothing is enough. But it's something. The stone remembers, she whispers. Months pass. A year. The ruins become something new. Not rebuilt exactly, but repurposed. People come. Some to scavenge, some to trade, some to settle. They build shelters in the wreckage, markets in the tunnels. Sira doesn't leave. Can't leave. This is her responsibility now. She mediates disputes, helps dig wells, shows people where the structure is stable, where it's not. She's not a leader exactly, but people listen to her. They ask her about him sometimes, about Cale Ward. She tells them what she knows, what she saw. She doesn't lie, but she doesn't tell them everything either. Some things, the handprint, the tally marks, the words spoken in darkness, those are hers alone. The settlement grows. Children are born here, actual children, playing in the ruins, laughing where people once died. Sira watches them and feels something strange and fragile in her chest. Not quite hope, not yet, but maybe someday. One afternoon, she's standing at the center of the ruins when a messenger arrives. Young woman, out of breath, urgent. You're needed. At the north wall, there's been a collapse. 3 people trapped. Sira doesn't hesitate. She grabs her tools and runs. The collapse is bad. A section of wall that seemed stable gave way without warning. Dust clouds the air, and she can hear screaming from beneath the rubble. She organizes the rescue, dividing people into teams, directing them where to dig, where to brace, where to pull. It takes hours, but they get them out. 2 alive, 1 dead. A child crushed before they could reach her. Sira sits in the dust afterward, staring at nothing, while someone covers the small body with cloth. It's not your fault, the young woman says softly. The wall it gave way. No one could have known. I should have known. Sira's voice is flat. I've walked every inch of this place. I should have seen it was unstable. You're not responsible for everything. Then who is? The woman has no answer. That night, Sira returns to the handprint. She hasn't been here in months. too busy, too focused on the living to dwell on the dead. But now she kneels beside it again, hand pressed to stone. A child died today, she says, because I didn't check the walls carefully enough, because I thought I knew. Her voice cracks. How did you live with it? All those deaths? All that guilt? The stone is silent. You didn't, I guess. You jumped into the pit, destroyed everything, died. She laughs, bitter. That's one way to escape. The wind moves through the ruins, carrying voices from the settlement. Laughter, argument, life. But I can't do that, Sira continues. I'm still here, still breathing like you said, still trying to... She stops. I don't know what I'm trying to do. She sits there for a long time, listening to the settlement, to the wind, to the silence. Finally, she speaks again, quieter now. Thank you for jumping in, for breaking it, for... She pauses. For seeing that some things are so broken they can't be fixed. They can only be unmade. She removes her hand from the print, stands, and walks back toward the settlement. Behind her, the handprint remains, glowing faintly in the starlight. The stone remembers. Years pass. The settlement becomes a town. Not built on blood and spectacle, but something quieter, slower, built by people who remember what came before and choose differently. Sira grows older. Gray threads through her blue hair. Her limp worsens. But she's still here, still walking the ruins that form the foundation of the new city, still making sure the walls are stable, the structures sound. She trains others, shows them how to read stone, how to spot weakness, how to build things that will last. She teaches them what Kale taught her, though she never says his name aloud. The children grow up hearing stories about the old arena, about the architect who destroyed it, about the blue woman who survived. They make a festival of it, the Day of Falling Stone. Once a year, they gather at the center of the ruins, at the handprint, and they remember. They speak the names of the dead, as many as anyone can recall, and they breathe, together, deliberately, defiantly, for those who can no longer breathe themselves. Sira watches from the edge of the crowd, alone as always, and feels that strange, fragile thing in her chest grow a little stronger. One year, a young builder approaches her. He's been working on a monument, he says, to commemorate what happened here. I wanted to ask your permission, he says, nervous, to build it at the center, where the column fell. Sira's first instinct is to refuse. That space is sacred. But then she thinks about Kale, about his hands always building, always creating, about how he would feel, knowing the place he destroyed had become barren, empty, untouched. What kind of monument? She asks. A tower. The young builder's eyes light up. Not like the old arena. Something different. Something that reaches up instead of down. That lifts instead of crushes. Sira considers this. A tower, rising from the ruins, built on the grave of the old world. Show me your plans, she says. They build it together over the next 2 years. Sira is too old to do heavy labor anymore, but she supervises, advises, corrects. She makes them test every joint, every support, every angle, and she makes them carve something at the base. When the stone broke, it spoke his name. They carve it deep into the foundation, letters 6 inches high, impossible to miss. The tower rises, slim and graceful, spiraling upward, topped with an open platform where anyone can climb and look out over the city. It's beautiful. On the day they finish, they hold a ceremony. Hundreds of people gather. They ask Sira to speak. She climbs the platform, slowly, painfully, her leg protesting every step. But she makes it. She stands at the top, looking out over everything. This place was built on blood, she says. Her voice carries in the wind. We can't change that. We can't undo the deaths that happened here, but we can choose what we build next. She pauses, looking down at the handprint, still visible at the tower's base. A man once told me that to breathe means to defy. He was right. Every breath we take in this place, every choice to build instead of destroy, to remember instead of forget, to keep going when it would be easier to stop, that's defiance. The crowd is silent, listening. So breathe, Sira says, for the ones who can't, for the ones who fell, for the ones who chose to stand even when it cost everything. She takes a breath, deep, deliberate, defiant. The crowd breathes with her. The sound is like wind through stone, like a structure sighing, like the earth itself exhaling. Sierra closes her eyes and feels it. The weight of all those deaths, all that guilt, all that impossible necessary remembering. But also something else, something new growing in the cracks. Not redemption, but maybe something close to peace. She opens her eyes and looks down at the handprint one more time. In the afternoon light, it seems to glow, like breath, like life, like a promise kept. Decades pass. Sierra's old now, older than she ever expected to be. Her body is a map of injuries and stubborn refusal to stop. But she's still here. The city thrives. The tower stands. The stories endure. On a morning when the sun rises golden clean, Sierra makes her way to the center one last time. It takes her an hour to walk what once took minutes. She has to stop, to rest, to catch her breath. But she makes it. The handprint is worn now. Weather and time and thousands of hands pressed against it have eroded the edges. But it's still there, still visible, still breathing. Sierra kneels. It takes effort, her joints screaming protest, and presses her palm to the stone one final time. "I did it," she whispers. "I kept breathing, like you said." The stone is warm under her hand. Not from him, never from him, but from the sun, from the life that moves through this place. "They remember you," she continues. "Not all of it. They don't know about the tally marks or the guilt or the nights in the cell. But they know you stood. They know you broke what needed breaking." She's quiet for a moment, feeling her heartbeat slow, feeling the exhaustion in her bones. "I'm tired," she admits. "I've been tired for so long. But I stayed. I did what you couldn't. I lived with it." A young voice interrupts. "Grandmother?" Sierra turns, slowly, carefully, and sees a child standing nearby. Maybe 6 years old, blue skin like her, eyes wide and curious. "Are you talking to the stone?" the child asks. "Yes." "Does it talk back?" Sierra smiles. It's the first time she's smiled in years. "Sometimes, if you listen carefully." The child comes closer, peering at the handprint. What does it say? And suddenly, impossibly, Sierra hears it again. That voice, soft, clear, cutting through time itself. "Keep breathing." Not memory, not hallucination. Something else. An echo that lives in the stone, in the air, in the space between heartbeats. The child hears it too. She gasps, eyes wide. "Did you?" "Yes," Sierra breathes. "Keep breathing," the child whispers, testing the words. Then louder. "Keep breathing." And suddenly other voices join. People passing by. People who've stopped to watch. People drawn by something they can't name. The words ripple outward, spreading through the crowd. "Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing." The sound grows, multiplies, becomes a chorus, becomes a promise, becomes defiance itself made audible. Sierra closes her eyes and listens as the words wash over her. Kale's words, spoken by hundreds of voices, living on, refusing to die. "Like this?" the child asks, placing her small hand next to Sierra's on the stone. Exactly like that. They stay there together, old woman and young child, hands pressed to stone, breathing in the morning air. And for just a moment, Sierra swears she feels it, a vibration deep in the stone, the harmonic frequency of a structure remembering the impact that broke it, the echo of collapse, still resonating after all these years. It sounds like breath, like his. "The stone remembers," Sierra whispers. The child looks up at her. What does it remember? "Everything," Sierra says. "The blood and the breaking, the falling and the standing, the man who built it and the man who destroyed it." She squeezes the child's hand gently. But mostly it remembers that someone stood, when it mattered, when it cost everything. The child nods, satisfied, and removes her hand from the stone. She runs off, back toward the city, toward life, toward a future Sierra helped build but will never see. Sierra stays. The sun climbs higher. People pass. Some stop to touch the handprint. Some just nod respectfully. Some don't notice her at all. She watches them all, these people living in the space where so much died. As the day fades toward evening, Sira finally pulls her hand away from the stone. She struggles to her feet. It takes 3 tries, and by the end, she's gasping. But she makes it. She turns to leave, to go back to whatever time she has left. Then she stops, looks back. The handprint glows in the sunset, pale gold, fading to orange, beautiful and terrible and permanent. "Thank you," she says, to Kale, to the stone, to whatever allowed her to survive when so many didn't. For teaching me that sometimes the only way to fix what's broken is to break it worse, to unmake it completely, to let it fall. The wind moves through the ruins, carrying voices from the city, laughter, music, argument, life. And underneath it all, quiet but persistent, that echo. Keep breathing. When the stone broke, Sira whispers, it spoke his name. She turns and limps toward the city, toward the light, toward whatever time remains. Behind her, the handprint remains, eternal and eroding, permanent and fading, a scar on stone that will outlast her, outlast the city, outlast everyone who remembers what it means. But for now, in this moment, it glows. And if you listen carefully, if you press your hand to the stone and breathe, you can hear it. The sound of a man who stood. The sound of stone breaking. The sound of breath in darkness. The sound of defiance. The sound of his voice and the child's voice. And every voice that ever chose to keep breathing when it would have been easier to stop. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing.